how do you think that vendors can perhaps create this consultative approach rather than perhaps what we've just alluded to, where you've got the salesperson getting them to sign that dotted line? Do you think this is something that should be started from the outset? For example, in our organisation, we run risk assessments, and we do it free of charge because we feel that this is not something you should be paying for, and we give you we think to be a relatively balanced view on your situation. Do you think that helps to create more of a consultative approach rather than perhaps just I'm a salesperson, you're a customer, sign on the dotted line?
I think it comes down to authenticity. People can detect that straight away. If you're authentic about it, if you go into a meeting, if you're open about you are here to help them, but if you can't help them, you'll shake hands and walk away because your solution, your service, your offering will not answer their use case. And that comes down to a consultative approach. That comes down to knowing the market. That comes down to knowing how your tool or service works inside out. And it comes down to a bit of experience as well. I'm slightly annoyed at LinkedIn with the amount of life coaches who contact me who are not out of their 20s yet, and I'm like, how can you be a life coach when you're not out of your 20s?
Absolutely.
You haven't seen anything of life. And I'm nearly 50. I know that's difficult to believe. I'm nearly 50, but when I think sometimes people don't gauge their audience too well. And I think if you're going to go into it and do that type of stuff, or sell SEO services, or send me 5 emails on the bounce when I haven't answered your first one, asking me did I get the other emails, I did. I just haven't responded to you because it's not for me at this moment in time. Treat humans like human beings, I think.
Absolutely. And good point there. We mentioned LinkedIn. Do you think LinkedIn is a good medium for vendors to perhaps market their wares on, or do you think that LinkedIn really is ill-used by vendors at the moment?
It's good and bad. It's like everything. I think too many go in for the kill straight away. Too many, here's our next product, here's our next thing, it's great, it's brilliant, buy. And that's kind of okay, it's but I think the people who make a difference on LinkedIn are the people who add value. So the people who add value without asking for anything, the people who give up their time and their knowledge and their experience to help other people. You then build a trust, you then build a brand, and then I think people will then come to you if they have a question or have an issue. So people may still say, well, that's a bit Machiavellian, that's a bit, but actually if you're out there giving more value than you're getting in, eventually somebody's going to come to you, somebody's going to think you're worth asking an opinion of, and may go and check out your website or your services. One of the biggest guys, one of the guys I follow on LinkedIn is Gary Vaynerchuk.
Yes.
Great guy from EMEA, He gives more value than he, and he says quite often that some of the people who are charging for the LinkedIn type of gurus, you can get everything you want from him for zero cost.
Absolutely right. Gritty, but he's well liked.
I love him. And his language is great as well. And I think he pulls no punches. I would imagine if you met him in real life, that is how he would be.
Yeah.
Nothing's manufactured there. I think people who get a little bit wound up that he drops the F-bomb every now and again should just, get over it.
Well, that's another problem, isn't it, with sales in our InfoSec industry, really, is that sometimes they don't know anything about the technology. So that's the sort of customer-facing arm of the company, and really it's the sales engineer that actually knows what they're talking about, but that doesn't tend to always be at the front. It's mainly, this is the sales, this is your point of contact, he's the guy that's going to see you from cradle to grave, if you like.
Yeah.
And that's a problem.
It is a problem. I've had sales guys before wheel me into meetings, tell me that they're going to introduce me, leave me alone to talk technical stuff, and then come back afterwards to get the PO type of thing.
Really?
I think that's the bad side of sales. I think the real good side of it, and I don't want this to come across as a salesman bashing side of things, because from an LMNTRIX point of view, and being the VP, that's where we are at the moment. We're growing our company, growing our sales, growing our education of the customers, growing our exposure. So obviously people need sales to survive. But I think the real good sales guys, and the really good ones I've worked with before, engender a trust with their customers, almost before you get to any kind of discussion about what the product is or what the service is. They've bought into you as a person.
Absolutely right. I think also as well that it's not entirely up to the way that you sort of go to market with your product, but if you look at perhaps perpetual versus subscription licensing, I think that subscription licensing can be favoured because it makes the vendor maintain that relationship every year, not rather than perhaps selling a perpetual license,
Sure.
sign the line, and then that's it until renewal. That's a problem that I think many vendors have.
Yep.
They're focused on perpetual licenses, and they're not interested in keeping that relationship with the customer long time.
Yep.
Would you agree?
Well, absolutely. You know, most customers on the perpetual side of things get a call every April or whenever the license is up. Hey, how are you doing? Are we going to renew next year?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm not sure whether, you know, if that was your own personal relationship, you'd probably get out of that relationship
Absolutely.
pretty quickly, right? You know, you don't want to be spoken to once a year, especially if you've had issues throughout the year. You've raised those and nobody's dealt with those issues, or you've had problems. You know, so from a subscription point of view, I think it does lend people to have that conversation. However, having been in managed services for a very long time, you know, that's second nature to me and to what we do. You should have those conversations all the time. And the customer should feel free to be able to pick up the phone and say, hey, what about this? And you should offer, as I mentioned earlier on about the value, you should be able to offer that value. You're not getting paid for it. You're not getting anything extra. The customer's deriving value from it.
Absolutely right.
You know, that's really important.
Yeah, it makes sense. No, 100%. One of the questions I'd like to ask you, Ian, is around AI and AI technology within our InfoSec world. Do you think that the technology will ever be so good that it will replace the need for a CISO in an organisation?
I think we've got a long way to go until that happens. You know, Amazon still have issues detecting real reviews from fake reviews. There was something recently on Amazon that there was a bunch of fake reviews there that they couldn't detect. Will it happen at some point in the future? I think anything's possible, right? Will Liverpool win the league in the future? we're all hoping, right? So anything's possible. Are we anywhere near that? I don't think so. I think we've got a long way to go. I think we're really at the basics of AI and machine learning. It's doing some really good stuff. You know, we've got people beating chess champions and stuff like that because it's a logic-based approach and you can do a lot of computations. But I think when you come to the finer intricacies of the human mind, we're only at the very beginning of that journey.